Hi everyone, welcome back. Organizing Higher, we provide organization and productivity tips to help you be a more successful, happy, well-rounded person. When I was first getting started as a new professional, I would often find myself struggling with one particular area. I would have these upcoming meetings on my calendar and I would completely forget about the meeting until like 2 hours before the meeting. I was unprepared for the meeting, which isn't good, particularly if I'm the person that's leading it. I don't have an agenda, the meeting's not flowing like it's supposed to be because I didn't prepare in advance for it. Or sometimes there would be meetings that I had attended a week or two before, and I completely forgot that I agreed to do XYZ task and get it to a certain person. So I would forget that I had committed to these things in meetings and just never follow up on it. Now, if someone else in that meeting is super organized, then they might reach out to me and say, hey, did you remember to do XYZ? And then that would be my reminder. But if no one else in that meeting did that, then we've ultimately wasted our time in a meeting because no one's going to remember that task that I said that I would do, including me. Or I get to the end of a week and think to myself, what the heck did I do this week? I felt like I did so much, but I didn't accomplish anything. And the problem with working this way is I was constantly working on quadrant 1 stuff, that urgent and important stuff, the biggest fire, the loudest noise, the thing that was right in my face. I was constantly working under immense pressure and deadlines because I just couldn't get in front of things. This caused a massive amount of stress that, frankly, I was putting on myself, and that undue stress was taking a toll. I would miss important deadlines or miss opportunities that had a certain timeline, and my colleagues began to see me as, frankly, unreliable. So I started using a tool that I found really brings all of that down to a minimum and makes it a non-issue. And that tool is a weekly review. So this weekly review is again inspired by the Getting Things Done methodology, like a lot of my productivity system is. The weekly review is really simple. Once a week, or sometimes more depending on the week, I review my week and my work. I do my weekly review once a week, generally Monday mornings. When I first started, I tried Friday afternoons and very quickly realized that didn't work for me. I was rushing through the process and I wasn't able to give it my full attention. I was thinking about the weekend. So I'm going to share with you the entire process that I do, again, every Monday. That really helps me to stay on top of deadlines, get ahead of things, and not be so stressed out about things I've got going on at work and in my personal life. Step 1 is review my calendar. I'm looking for things that are deadline driven, maybe birthdays that are coming up, upcoming holidays, things like that that I wouldn't necessarily think about until I was at that particular day. I usually just go 1 week out. Sometimes I'll go 2 or 3 weeks out, but this really helps me to stay in front of what else is coming. I'm essentially looking down the road of my calendar. I'll add in tasks like review meeting notes. Maybe I need to create an agenda. Maybe there's a task I was asked to do prior to the meeting and it reminds me to complete that task. I also put in things like R&F, which for me is an abbreviation for review notes from. Sometimes when you're in meetings, you take these notes and you want to just very quickly go through them and remind yourself what happened in that meeting and if there are any outstanding tasks that you need to do or things that you need to follow up on. I use a trigger list to help me with the review process. That's free online and I'll link below where you can get access to that. Step 3 is to just walk around my workspace and my living space. A lot of times sitting and looking at a trigger list can remind me of some outstanding tasks or projects that I want to do, but sometimes it's not until I'm walking around in my physical space that I'm reminded of some of these outstanding things. So it's not until I'm in the shower that I remember that I need to make more sugar scrub. So just walking around and looking in the shower, not being in it, looking in the shower will remind me, oh yeah, I need to make more sugar scrub. So then I can very quickly put that on my to-do list. Step 4 is to review my larger projects and my larger to-do list. Sometimes I'll have things during my weekly review that I've actually already put on my to-do list from last week's weekly review. So that's a sign for me that this is something I really should do pretty soon because it's still on my mind and something I still need to do. So depending on what the task is, I'll either delete the duplicate task or I will put a timeline associated with that task. So that way it's done and I don't have to remember it for next week. My weekly review process takes maybe an hour or so, but I've definitely taken half an hour if I'm really focused and specifically get down to those specific tasks. The weekly review process is something that I do very intentionally. I self-isolate, I make sure there's no distractions around me, and it is an intense, focused thing, kind of like a meeting that I have with myself every single week. I try my best not to reschedule it, I try my best not to have it interrupted, and I try to keep it a pretty high priority thing. Frankly, it's the reason that I get things done during the week. It's because I've accomplished this weekly review. Weeks when I don't do it, I definitely see a difference in the things I'm able to accomplish and my stress levels, frankly. I'm much more stressed because I feel like I'm missing things, I'm dropping plates, I'm dropping balls that I'm juggling. With a weekly review, I feel confident and comfortable that I'm not missing any deadlines, I'm not forgetting anything that I've committed to, and I can accomplish the work that I need to. Along with the items that I have in my brain dump for my weekly review, I include things like daily and weekly goals. And depending on the week, I have different goals. Sometimes they're related to larger projects, like I want to film a video for YouTube, for example, but sometimes they're personal things, like running 3 times that week. For daily goals, it's usually something that's supporting either a weekly goal or a larger goal that I have for myself, like meditating for 10 minutes every day. So try it for yourself and let me know in the comments how it works for you. Thanks so much for watching.